Hi, my name's Matt Drahos. Today I'm going to tie a Platte River spider. That's a good fly coming up with the high water period. The brown trout fry will start moving through the stream bed. It's a good fly. It's fairly easy to tie and it's pretty durable. So we're going to start off. I'm just using a salmon fly type hook with the return loop. You could use a 3x long streamer or a 200R. Lots of choices there. Most of the fly is tied on the front third of the fly. You don't really tie anything on the back. That makes it a little bit more chew proof. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to take 2 marabou feathers. I'm going to strip the base off. You can hold on to that and use it for woolly bugger tails or something like that. We want a fairly wide palm. We're going to take it by the tip here. And I'm going to wet the tips. I'm going to tie them in. Now marabou's fairly dainty stuff, so you got to be pretty careful with it when you start wrapping it. So we'll start with the first piece. So we're just tying it in with the palm facing towards the back. I've grabbed another feather. I'm going to strip off the base feathers off of it. You're looking for a nice clean feather, something with a nice palm on it. Clean this up here, pull this out. So you've got that. Now we're going to lay it right on top of the first feather. We're splitting it out and we'll tie it down. Try not to tie down too many of the loose butts. You want to keep the fly wrappable. Okay, so then we'll take these 2 feathers at the same time. Now this is fairly tricky and it'll take a little practice. We're going to do a wet fly fold. I'm actually going to wet it slightly and that'll help fold the feathers back and out of the way. I'm going to advance our thread slightly and we'll palmer this up the shank for about 1/4 of an inch. Doesn't take all that many turns. This is a sparse fly. Now I use this same base for several articulated flies that I tie. Marabou is such a great material in the water, and it's cheap and it's available in every color under the sun, so you can go crazy. We'll just wrap this forward. This is a small fly by my standards, but I like fishing it. It fishes really well. I got a really nice trout on it last year up in Wyoming somewhere. But so we've got a couple of turns. We've got a base of minnowy stuff right now. So then I'm going to take and tie this off. I'll pull those butts back a little bit. Tie them down. And I'm using just 8/0 thread here. This isn't an extreme strength fly. You don't need to have really heavy thread. You're not spinning deer hair or working with heavy synthetics. Okay. Now that's the basic body. Now we're going to do the wing and then we'll do a collar. The wing is going to be hen hackle. I've got some furnace and some badger hackle. I'm going to strip the stems slightly, mark it against the side of the fly, see how long it is. Now to make the fly really durable so that these feathers don't come out, I'm going to nip some of the fibers off the base. So I have a little bristle brush to tie in. I'm going to tie in 1 feather first. Kind of get started, and I leave the stem on so I can manipulate the feather. Then I'm going to take another one on the same side here. I'm going to measure it. This is a much longer feather, so I don't need the whole thing. I'm going to strip the fibers there. Again, leaving the stem just so I have something to handle. Then I'm going to trim that little bristle brush again. And if some of this is hard to see on the video, please just feel free to give us a shout or come in and we can show you how it's done. But I'm tying that bristle brush in so that it's parallel to the first one. That gives it a nice bait fish profile. Now I'm going to repeat on the far side. I usually do, or the near side, excuse me. So I trim the hackle fibers back just a little bit. And of course the phone rings right now, but my intrepid assistant, Matt Lucas, is going to grab it. Okay, and then we're going to repeat with the other feather here, and I'll have you guys, we'll do a close-up of the fly when we're done, and you can see what what I've been up to here. Okay, I'm going to trim the bristle brush, and I'm not going to trim all the extra fibers right now, I just don't need to, because I'm about to nip this whole thing off. Lay that in next to the side. Tie it down now. These feathers are getting just a little bit unruly, so I'm going to back over the top of them with my thread wraps a little bit to lock them in place. Now we'll trim these butt ends off, theoretically. Okay. Now I'm going to put a little bit of a collar of some Mallard Flank that's been dyed yellow onto the fly, and I'm going to strip one side off. I'm going to grab a hackle pliers because this is going to be fairly small. I'm going to grab it by the tips here, and then we're going to tie that in. Sorry about the shaky hands, had a bit of coffee today, as usual. Tie that down. Now I'm going to wrap this around and fold the hackle towards the back, or push the hackle towards the back, and we just need about 1.5 total turns to give the fly a nice collar. You can see this is kind of coming out in that brown, trouty, yellow-brown coloration. Now I'm going to trap the hackle, or the feather in this case. I guess it's not a hackle. Couple turns. I'm going to trim off. Got a little loose fiber here. We'll tie that down. So we've got a nice looking little fly here. Fish as well. It's relatively easy to tie, and all the materials are fairly common. I'm going to whip finish it now. Now this isn't the cleanest version I've ever tied, but so be it. In a moment here, like I said, we'll do a little zoom in on it and check it out. Not already tight enough. So I always double my whip finish. Now this is a fly I would head cement and make it nice and glossy so it holds up real well. But basically the Platte River Spider, now you can tie this in a bunch of different sizes and in every color you want. The basic pattern is, you know, marabou, 2 colors with some hackle fiber wings over the top and duck flank fiber, or could be guinea fowl or anything. But it's a basic fly and it fishes real well. So hope you guys use it this spring. It's a really effective pattern. We sell a lot of them and it's an easy fly to tie. So thanks. Hope you guys have a good day.